It's a new week in the Crew Motorfest, and this week's theme is called Alpha City, and this is my summit guide. Let's go. All right, real quick before we get into it, if you're looking for any of my pro settings, you can go to militiagamingco.com, click on Motorfest Tools from the top, and there we'll see a bunch of different Motorfest tools that'll make your life easier, including the pro settings. All right, let's get into it. So let's start off with the cars. The Summit bundle this week is going to include the Proto Concept Glow Motorsport Edition and the Proto Alpha Mark II. Both are Alpha GP. It's all Alpha GP this week, including the Feats, actually. Additional vehicles you're going to need are the IVT AGP R07 and the RB14. All right, now the keys to this Summit are going to be your part sets and the clean driving modifier. Clean driving is a very difficult modifier for this week because AGP AI are always in the way. So half the battle is just getting around the AI and making sure you don't touch them. And a lot of these courses are very tight, so it becomes a very huge annoyance. And in one race in particular, it's just god awful. Anyways, I don't really have a lot of pro settings for AGP cars, but you can check out the ones that I do have here, and then we'll get into the events. All right, the first event is called Waikapu Park, and there's only a couple of tricky things about this one, and I'm going to show you that. The first is getting around the AI. I recommend having this one on 1 of 5 difficulty because you can get around the AI on this first corner. So stay wide right and do like a late braking into the corner there. You see how I didn't brake till basically the last moment, and then I took the corner pretty wide. The AI like to jump into the inside of this corner here, so you can go a little bit late and then make sure you take the corner with good speed. And I use a little bit of NOS, not every run, but usually use a little bit of NOS to make sure they don't catch up to you there. And then once you're there in front of them, it's really no problem. So that's kind of the only real trick here at the beginning. Let me fast forward to the one little cut that you're going to need to do. All right, after this turn at 83%, there is a cut here at the next checkpoint flag. Go to the right and make sure that you're not hitting this wall, nor are you hitting the trees. Anything you touch here will take away from your clean driving bonus. You want to make sure you get here with a full 40,000 points. It's very possible. There's not a lot of things that break or things that are in the way or cuts that are a problem here. So make sure you get here with 40,000 points. Immediately after getting to this shortcut, you're going to brake heavy and downshift all the way to third, I think. Yeah, into third. Take that corner normally. Don't worry about cutting it. Same thing here, normal corner, and then NOS to the finish line, and you are good. Let's move on. All right, the next race is called Pearl Harbor Circuit, and this one is very tricky to get around the AI at the beginning. Right at the start, you need to get a very good start. To do that, you want to go about half throttle until you feel the car start to vibrate too much, and then let off a little bit after that. When the go happens, you sort of smash the throttle down. You'll feel it. You'll feel the vibration change before the go happens, and then you can sort of get that perfect start, and TCS will engage automatically. Anyways, right when you do that, you're going to want to swerve to the left of this first car, not only because you don't want to hit him, but also because you want to take up this space in the middle. This AI on your left won't run into you until you get closer to the curb, until you get closer to the corner, excuse me, because he's going to want to try to get wide for the corner and take it, you know, a proper racing line, and he doesn't care where you are. But on straights, he'll sort of avoid you. So notice he kind of backs off there. See how he backs off a little bit, and then I'm able to kind of squeeze through. You want to go full on the inside of this corner and then take it sort of on the curb, just like this, and not hit that pole. That pole is important. So you can get through there and get past the AI without actually getting hit in the beginning. Again, 1 of 5 difficulty for this one as well. You can cut this corner here with the grass. Just make sure you don't lift off the throttle. Just control it with the brake and your downshifting. Always be on the throttle if you're off-road. Now, there is a couple of shortcuts here that are really risky because you end up losing your clean driving bonus. I'd say for this week, stay on the road for this one on this course. But I will show you the cuts in just a moment. Here, you're going to cut after the bridge. Watch out for that pole. I almost hit it. Very close. And again, just staying on the road here as well. Don't hit anything. No checkpoint flags, no walls, no poles, nothing. All right, this is pretty self-explanatory. Just don't hit anything. It's a fairly straight section of road. Let's get over here to this, and that's basically your lap. So those are the only tricks you really need to know. Now, if you want to know the cuts, let me show you those real quick. All right, so the first cut is actually right after this grass cut. And what you're going to do is turn left right after this last flag. You're going to go straight towards this bridge. You're going to jump it, NOS, and then reset when you hit the ground. You're trying to reset before you hit those tires. See, what this is a bad one because you hit the tires and I lose clean driving. But I'm already hit a little bit on the clean driving. So you really, this is kind of a, not really a good method, but you can do this. It is faster, but you kind of take a hit to the clean driving. So not really worth it in my opinion, and not really worth it this week. I mean, the rewards for the summit this week are just god awful. So, you know, not really that worth it for me. I would just stay on the road, get your points, call it a day. Let's move on. All right, the next event is called Waikiki Ring, and this one is using the Alpha Mark II. This one is really self-explanatory. There's only one real section where you're gonna have to pay attention. Getting around the AI is pretty easy because, you know, it's a long straight. You got plenty of time to get up to speed, and they don't go as fast as you, especially on 1 of 5 difficulty. So really no issues there. There is only one cut, and it's coming up right over here. So after this turn here, slow down a little bit and cut left here underneath the bridge or underneath the parking structure. You got to get close to this flag, but you do not have to go through it. You don't have to go through that checkpoint. You can go to the left of it. So cut just to the left. Make sure you slow down enough to not hit that pole, and you're basically home free. This is the whole lap, is just staying on the road and maximizing your NOS. I would say you can shift up early and use NOS. That actually helps you gain speed faster. And that's kind of it for this one. That's the only secret. All right, let's move on. All right, the next event is called Mamala Bay Street Circuit, and this is with the IVT R07. This one is fairly self-explanatory as well. There's not really any real cuts on this one. Now, this race generally does have cuts, but I strongly suggest you don't even have to use them, because with AGP, you got lots of grip. You can take corners very fast. And because of the clean driving modifier, you really don't want to take any chances of going off-road, and it's not really worth it. So let me fast forward to anything that I see as, you know, something you may want to watch out for, but I'm pretty sure this one is just really straightforward. Let's see. All right, actually, I did find something is right here. You can cut to the left of this flag. You don't have to go through it. Doesn't really save you a ton of time, but, you know, makes it easy to rejoin with the road there. You can also cut this corner here on the right, much like we do in the grand races, but I ended up just staying kind of on the road there. This corner on the right here at 36, you can also cut, which I did. Just make sure you control it going over the dirt. It's pretty tough sometimes. There's also a pretty difficult corner here. Now, there's probably a way through this cut. Usually you go to the left of the airplane, but I just didn't want to take the chance. And the time that I got was plenty good enough for the summit, so I just went ahead and went around there. This corner at 65%, I did cut. Just make sure you go through the poles. Just a tiny little cut, just a little corner one. Not too bad there. The rest of the race is literally on the road, following the path, no shortcuts. So there you go. Let's move on. Next up, we've got the race called State Capital Showrun, and this one definitely frustrated me. There's a couple of things you need to be aware of. Some of the cuts that you want to take on this, you have to let the AI go through so that they take out all the breakable stuff and you don't get any clean driving mistakes. So they all know that this is a shortcut. They never go around. They always go through here. They break all the stuff for you and then jump up the wall for some reason. But you can actually just follow them through here. Just pay attention to this little pole right here. This is your like visual signal to turn back in. And there you go. And you can just follow them through here. Notice I still have the 40,000 points. Here, you're just following these AI. Again, you're going to have this on a 5 of 5 difficulty, actually, because you want to be able to slipstream these guys. They are pretty fast on this course, and so it's worth it to stay in their slipstream. Now, here, you're going to want to brake as much as you can, get into 4th gear, and don't just stay behind them. You don't need. There's no reason to challenge these guys yet. There's going to be plenty of time for that. And so what I do is just kind of stay behind them, keep one of them in front of me for this lap, so that if they do break anything, then it's things that I don't have to break. So heavy braking, I go outside of them here. Luckily, that guy doesn't run into me, and I'm able to get around and get the pass. You really want one of the guys in front of you at the end of the race. And I'm really nervous, actually, at this point, that the guy behind us is going to run into me, because they were actually rear-ending me a lot on this one. Anyways, this is one of the trickiest spots. I never found a route through this little cut where it made a lot of sense, where you could just go through it and not hit anything. It was really, really difficult, but I followed his path because he's taking stuff out, and the car jumps a little bit. So I think I hit a pole or a tree or something there, and another pole there. I just left it. My clean driving bonus is at 39,000. I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal if you hit a couple of little things through that section every time. We're talking very minimum points. Now here, unfortunately, he hits the wall, which causes me to have a different strategy on the second lap, and that's super unfortunate. If you can get a run where the AI doesn't hit the wall, you're going to be in better shape because you can follow him through that next cut here. So this is lap 2, and this is the section where the AI just goes straight. Since you don't have the AI for you to, you know, to break stuff, I strongly recommend just going around. It's gonna add a little bit of time to your run, but you're gonna get more clean driving points, and it's totally worth it. So anyway, that was the strategy that I had. The rest of the race is really self-explanatory. Just don't hit anything, and there's not really any real cuts. Other than that last, if we go forward a little bit, this part here, you can actually get through here. I slowed down quite a bit and cut it close to the wall, and then I went through this gap here, and it was a little bit slow. I ended up not hitting anything, but it's definitely a little slow. I would recommend, you know, just going through there as fast as you can. Anyways, that's it. Let's move on. All right, here's the last event. This is basically Kaiusha Spirit, so you guys should probably know this. I definitely know this race like the back of my hand, but with a clean driving modifier, it's a little bit different. So you're obviously waiting for these guys. I did not go full throttle off that jump. That guy loses control a little bit, and sometimes he spins, and he didn't on this one, but sometimes they do. Anyways, you're trying to get through here without actually hitting anybody and without, you know, touching any poles or anything like that. And then I went ahead and went across the grass here to try to make that pass on him, which worked out. He's pretty close, but ended up, you know, putting the gap on a little bit later. He spun out on that corner. So anyways, that's the first couple of corners for this race. And then what you need to do is basically just stay on the road. I know I've been saying that a lot, but there's not really any secrets to this. The reason it's like that this week is because it's AGP combined with clean driving. So you can actually cut this corner, but you have to go in between the gap of this stop sign and this fence. So it's hard. I mean, might be able to zoom in or something, but it's hard to go through there. It's just difficult, and going across the grass in AGP is tough. So I recommend just going around. The rest of the race is staying on the road, not hitting anything, not hitting your checkpoints, and just going as fast as you possibly can and getting your full clean driving bonus. That bonus is really, really crucial. So I would recommend prioritizing that over anything else. But that's basically it. So let's get to the feats. All right, with the feats, I usually don't like give you guys instructions, but I had to do it on this one. Now, if you were watching the stream, you got to see my freak out, but this is why traffic in feats is necessary, because all you have to do is have the part sets. If you have score breaker, you don't have to try on feats at all. Like, you just have to have the parts that give you the scores. Like this particular run, I decided to go ahead and just do the whole run in first gear. I'm maxed at 54 miles per hour. I literally just sat here and did the whole run at 54 miles per hour. I finished with less than a second on the timer. I'll go ahead and just fast forward because we're not going to watch this whole thing. But I did this to prove a point. Okay. We finish with less than a second, 0.6, okay? Which is as long as you can possibly take to do it. Now, I hit every single slalom, you know, objective, and I have score breaker on the car. Just that. Finish with score breaker, hit every objective. 14,000 points, 156,000 points in the summit, 157, and I think it's 157,849 is the max. This score was only 800 points less than my full fast run, which I got 157,796, which I did full speed. So the complaining about traffic and feats, maybe I get it a little bit on the escapes, but come on, guys. I mean, just play the game, get the parts, and there you go. Now, I didn't want to make this whole summit guide about this, but I just want to show you what's possible, okay? It's possible to get the score that you need without having any effort at all. And now with no traffic, I might as well have done it with my eyes closed. I mean, it's crazy. Anyways, enough of my ranting. Let's move on. All right, here's the second slalom. Again, you don't even have to do it fast. There's no traffic on the roads. There's nothing. All you have to do is go around every single gate and finish, and you're going to get a high score as long as you have score breaker on your car. So that's it for this one. Let's just move on to the final one, which actually is a little bit tricky with the speed trap. All right, with the speed trap, if you just hit it straight on, you have full NOS, you're in 8th gear, you're completely maxed out, you're going to hit something like 258 or 9 or something like that. 258.1. That's what you're going to do. However, if you use air NOS, there's a jump nearby, you can actually use air NOS and get a much higher score. Some people have like 298, which is not even possible on the ground. You're just using the air NOS. So let me show you where that is exactly. All right, so from the spawn, you're going to turn around. Get it together. All right. You're going to turn around, then go left around this building. And then you're going to follow this path up the hill. Okay. When you get to the top of the hill, you're just going to turn around when you get to the edge of the green circle there. Just flip it around and start heading this way. You want to make sure you have, you know, kind of close to full NOS when you get towards the jump. But basically, you go straight down this hill. Now, when you get close to this building with the gray door, you're going to go just to the right of that. Okay? Then, straight to the jump. And what you're aiming for is to go to the right of this tree right here. Okay? I actually messed up. Just go ahead and rewind. And do it again. To the right of that tree. And air NOS. Notice it's 262. My final score on this was 276. And I'm okay with that. The rest of the summit was pretty easy. It wasn't too bad. 276 is fine, but that's the method you want to use. Air NOS is the only way to get higher than the like max speed for an AGP. So anyway, that's the trick. All right, let's end this thing. All right, here are my final scores. Please do not hesitate to send me a DM if you have any questions about this one. I read every single message that comes my way. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. I will catch you on the next one. Trigger out.